Welcome to Dimensional Shift, where we explore and actively deprogram ourselves, seek the truth of reality through expanding our perceptions, and focus on full remembrance of our true selves. As we begin to connect to our true selves, we will also see the truth of this illusory reality and the way it controls us through our manipulated perceptions. As soon as we fully remember our true selves, we will also see the enemy for what it is and how to rebalance the system by freeing ourselves and assisting others to do the same, creating a domino effect into the evolution of human consciousness. Welcome back to Dimensional Shift. I have disappeared again for a while. I know these things are kind of up and down. You never know what's going to happen that day, so thank you for hanging in there on me. And I want to give a special thanks to a few people in the Discord who have helped support me, especially this past week that's been pretty rough. And I also want to give a shout out to my good friend Shorty. Happy birthday. Today is the 7th. It's your birthday. And I wanted to make sure to mention that too. So today we're going to talk about trust versus faith and using discernment. This topic was requested by someone in the Discord. He wanted to know, how can he trust Source? How can he trust the universe when it seems like everything is working against him? So the first thing I want to say is the difference between faith and trust. So faith would be a belief that's not based on proof. It's a belief with no supporting evidence. So it's kind of like hope, where you're holding on to an idea that may or may not be actually true. Whereas truth is based on experience. So if you haven't had a lot of experience really connecting to Source or feeling like Source is there supporting you, and maybe you don't meditate or you just haven't taken the time to really connect, because I truly believe that Source always has a hand extended to us and it's just waiting for us to reach back to connect. So ironically, part of the solution is to take a leap of faith until you have that experience where you can trust. So it's a bit of a paradox there. One of the most important things when connecting to anything outside of yourself, and I always recommend that you first turn inward and you learn to trust yourself first. And we'll get to that a little bit later. But it's really vital that you understand how your messages come through your intuition. So from my experience, there seem to be two ways that we get messages, and it depends on who it's coming from. So when we get messages through our psychic senses, like our third eye, where we have, clairvoyance and clairaudience and clairsentience and all of that, a message that's coming from the astral or ethereal realm. Our messages from Source feel a little bit different. It's actually more of a gut feeling or an activation or a pulling in the chest center. It feels very solid and grounding, and you just have this sense that you know that whatever you're about to do is right or wrong. The problem with psychic messages is that these messages are very easily manipulated by, the archons or whatever you want to call them. It gets scrambled a lot of the times. And sometimes they're just deceitful and not true at all. So we have to be careful there. It's really key to use discernment, and until you're really sure that you can tell the difference between an entity that's trying to help you and an entity that's trying to lead you astray, I personally disregarded most of those messages until I felt really solid in myself and knew that I would be able to discern and I would be able to test it against my intuition. That would be more connected to Source that I could test that against. Sometimes we come to a decision point, and maybe we've received messages about which way to go and maybe we haven't, but sometimes it can be kind of unclear. I want to point out that messages from Source through your intuition, they never feel urgent, they never feel obsessive, they don't create obsessive thoughts, they don't feel like this huge urge or impulse to do something, big or whatever, and it's very gentle. It's almost like, have you considered this option? Or perhaps you should think about this. It's never demanding. It actually never tells you what to do. It's more of a guidance. So when you reach these points where you have to make a decision and you're not really sure which way to go, Maybe you've gotten mixed messages, or maybe nothing's come up at all. The important thing to remember is this choice going to lead me to help, where good things are going to happen, where it's going to help me grow and evolve, or is this decision going to harm me in some way? Sometimes that can also be unclear, and this is where that experience comes in. So sometimes, yes, we're going to make the wrong choice. We're going to go down a path that's more of a struggle than maybe the other path was, but you can also learn from it. And it's important that you know your patterns and your blind spots. So if you have a message that says, oh, you should go hang out and go out with friends tonight, and your blind spot is that, if you go and have a drink, then you're going to have 10 drinks or whatever it is, it's going to lead to harm. So knowing your buttons, knowing your blind spots and your patterns is really, really helpful. And that's where the deprogramming comes in. So like I said, if you are unsure about trusting Source, then you're probably really unsure about trusting yourself. And I would really start there. And it's kind of a paradox because if you think about it, we are Source. So Source looks out through my eyes into your eyes, which is also Source. And so once you start to learn to trust yourself, you will also learn to trust Source at the same time because you are one and the same. And this person on Discord who requested this episode was talking about he doesn't feel like Source has his best interests at heart. And so I would present you with this idea. If Source is looking out through your eyes and you are Source and you have your own best interests at heart, why would Source not also have those best interests at heart? Because Source wants to be self-protective and have its own best interests at heart. And since you're one and the same, you both have your best interest at heart. So this will be a short episode this week as I'm trying to get back on my feet and get back in the habit of doing podcasts again. I went through this period of perhaps I'm doing more harm than good, like I was at that choice point, and things in my personal life got a little bit scrambled and unsettled. So I'll be hopefully getting back into the habit. I would really, really love for you guys to give me ideas on what you want to hear, what you want me to talk about. If you're not in the Discord yet, come join us. I'm starting a class on August 15th at 3 o'clock Central that will help you discover the path to healing and the path to deprogramming, and hopefully that connection to Source that we're all seeking. It's free. Join the Discord. It's also free. The classes will be recorded and put up on my website if you aren't able to make them live. And I am offering free one-on-one sessions to walk through that as well. Of course, that may be limited depending on how many people would like those, but so far we still have space. So come and join us, and we will start healing and getting these things deprogrammed so we can create a better world. The next shift in human evolution. If you found this episode helpful or insightful, please share it with a friend and leave a review or comment. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. I host twice weekly open discussions on the podcast topic on our Discord server. If you'd like to join, head to dimensionalshifter.com/Discord. If you're on Reddit, come join the subreddit r/dimensionalshifters or send me a DM. My username is Dimensional Shifter. Keep deprogramming, keep connecting, keep listening to your intuition. This is it. This is what we've been searching for our whole lives. Connection to our true selves.